Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So in today's video I'll be doing my foundation declutter. I know I've done one of those some time ago already on my channel, but since that time I've accumulated more foundation. Yes, it's all next to me. I've counted, I've got 20 foundations, like 20. So let's just get on with it because that might be one long video. Let's hope not. First on the line goes the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. Now I've had this guy for some time and I think it's time to get rid of it. I've used quite a bit. I think I've used more than, well, I've used about that. I've got that much left. So I'm kind of using it on and off, and it smells funny now. So that is gonna go. It is an okay foundation. Now, it wasn't anything amazing, but it wasn't a bad purchase, but I'm definitely not gonna repurchase it. Following with the Max Factor Healthy Skin Harmony Miracle Foundation. I have done the first impression review on this guy, and everything would have been so much better if the scent wasn't too strong and if the shade range was actually really much better. This shade in Light Ivory 40, which was the lightest shade for me to buy in a store, which is actually was the lightest shade available, but I know there's one shade lighter online, but at the time this was the one I could buy. And not only that doesn't match me, it just oxidizes really badly. It is a lovely foundation, but just not something for me, unfortunately, unless they kind of try to get rid of the scent and update the shade range. That would be good. Another one to declutter is the Born This Way Too Faced foundation, and this guy I kind of use it only in the summer because the shade I've got is vanilla, which is too dark for me. Anyway, if you haven't noticed, if you've watched any of my first impression reviews for foundations, you know I barely can match my shade, and most of the foundations I buy online. Now, unfortunately, I'm never very lucky with matching my own shade. So yeah, that was one of those things when I went and bought it online. So I could only use it in the summer and kind of, yeah, I could get away with wearing it. But now I've had it for such a long time, and I think I've used most of it anyway. So that's gonna go. Like, look at the shade, like, what is it? I've had it for some really long time, and that's gonna be decluttered. Now, the next two foundations I kind of use together. Now, I'm talking about the Hourglass Vanish Foundation and the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation, the HD Stick Foundation. Now, I don't really like the Forever Foundation by its own because it tends to separate on me. And the Hourglass foundation I found a bit hard to kind of blend on my skin. And the shade, of course, is too warm for me. But those two together, it's a mixture really good because this is so creamy, it helps this blend. And of course, this is so pale, it helps this one to be my good shade. So I really do like these two together, so I'm definitely keeping those two. Now I've got another full coverage foundation, which is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation, my absolute favorite. It gives me a really nice full coverage. Just my skin usually looks really photoshopped with it, but this bottle is empty. It is just empty, so I am going to go and get rid of it. Clearly, if you were wondering what shade I am in 12 Ivory, which was tad too warm for me, slightly too warm for me. Now that's going. Next thing, we've got the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Longwear High Cover Foundation. This is pretty much finished as well. Yeah, that's all bit yet finished. I've got a tiny bit left. I really did like it for reasons is because it sat really nicely on my skin. It didn't settle in my smile lines, so not many foundations do that. So that was a really good foundation even for those reasons. And of course, it has coverage, which I like, and it just looked really natural. So because this is really just now finished, I'm just gonna get rid of it. I'm actually quite surprised how many foundations which I've decluttered I've actually used most of them up. So that is good. That shows I do use my foundation. They just don't sit there and they just look pretty. Going on with yet another full coverage foundation. You can tell I'm a full coverage girl, but recently I've been trying my best because my skin's improved. So I've been trying my best to go into more like less coverage, like light to medium coverage foundations. But anyway, this one is the Jouer Essential High Coverage Foundation. I think everyone's heard of it. I personally find it works well on my dry skin, but your skin needs to be really well moisturized. I use my Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer, which is a really hydrating, really moisturizing primer with this guy, and it works really well. Sometimes I even just add a dot, not a dot, like a small, what is it, drop, not a dot, a drop to a any like less coverage foundations, which when I want a bit more coverage, and just kind of helps me to build the other foundations up. So I am definitely keeping this guy. Now we've got the It Cosmetics Your Skin by Better CC full coverage cream foundation thing. I think most of the people really do like this guy, so do I. I'm kind of as well used up quite a bit of it myself, and my shade is in Fair, and I am definitely keeping this because I really like it. It is very moisturizing on my skin, very hydrating, very nourishing. It just looks pretty nice on me, so I'm definitely keeping this. Oh, another one which is I'm definitely not getting rid of. It's actually one of my recent repurchases, and it is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Moisturizing Photo Edition Foundation. It has a long ass name, but and it is this guy here. So I am 100% keeping this. It just looks really flawless on my skin, barely settles in my fine lines, keeps my skin really nice and hydrated. If I had to keep one of the foundations, all of those I've got in front of me, this would be the one. I could just, that's it, that could be just my happy foundation. I love it. So I am 110% keeping it. Right, now we're moving on to something less expensive. It is the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid Hydrating Serum Foundation. And if you watched my most recent haul, you've seen it. This is the guy I've recently bought. It gives me like a medium coverage. It's quite hydrating on my skin. That's why I like it. It's not extremely long lasting, but I do really like it. And going on to another drugstore foundation, it is the Bourjois Healthy Mix foundation. I've done a first impression review on this and a test wear on my channel on this foundation, and I love it. It is one of my really favorite drugstore foundations. It has a bit of a scent, but I like it. It gives you nice medium coverage. It looks healthy, it looks glowy, and anything healthy, glowy and moisturizing has my name written all over it, so we are keeping it. I promise you, we've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 foundations left, and we're nearly there. Okay, just stay strong, we're nearly there. But now we have here the Collection Illuminating Touch Foundation. I did enjoy using this foundation, but I don't really reach for it enough, because now I've discovered more illuminating and drugstore foundations. I don't reach for this as often as I feel like I should. Just kind of used it a few times, but not often enough for me to keep this guy. Now we've got the e.l.f. Aqua Foundation. Same thing, I really did like it, but unfortunately I don't use it enough. It's not, it was good, but again, it's not, I don't use it as often as I should really, so that is being moved away as well. Now I've got the Infallible 24 Hours Matte Foundation from L'Oreal. Really do like this guy, even though it is a matte foundation and I've got dry skin. It just looked really nice on my skin. I've had it for so long, it has to go now. So this is gonna be one of the foundations I'm actually gonna repurchase soon, when it comes to summertime. The Ordinary Colors Coverage Foundation. I love it. I absolutely like it. This is definitely, I use it quite often, so this is definitely staying in my collection. And I have recently reviewed this foundation, and it is the Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick from L'Oreal. I just don't like it. It just didn't really look nice on my skin and just didn't really blend well for me. I just don't like it, so that's gonna go. And if you're interested to see what I think about it and how it applied on my skin, of course, go through to my first impressions on the foundations and you can find it all there. And finally, the very last foundation and the most recent purchase of mine, it is the Sleek Vitality Foundation, which gives you light to medium coverage, and it's moisturizing oil free, and I'm keeping it. I love it. As I said, it is a light to medium coverage. I've mentioned it before, my skin has improved a bit, so I'm trying to go for light to medium coverage foundations, and anything again with moisturizing in it, hydrating, I am 100% wanting to try. So I'm just so glad I bought it. This is actually the foundation I'm wearing on right now. The only thing is I've got a shade which is a bit too pale, but nothing that of bronzer, a few drops of a bit of darker base on, you know, can fix. I love it. It is just such a... Right, I feel like I've went 100 miles an hour to talk for this video because there was just so much to talk about, but we have decided to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 foundations, and we have got rid of 2, 4, 6, 10 foundations. So we've managed to get rid of half, which is quite good. So yeah, I am very impressed how ruthless I was with some of them. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna end this video here. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want any more decluttering videos, just let me know, because I've done some of them in the past, but I'm more than happy to do some more of them. Yeah, I hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you in my next video, so take care.